Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Oh, great, man. Couldn't be
Awesome.
better.
Awesome.
Should we talk about insurance again for another 55 minutes?
We should not. We
Okay.
should probably get along with our
Is that not what the people
fun
tune in
little
for?
podcast.
They want us
I
talking about
don't. I don't think anybody.
copays and
I
deductibles.
truly
and,
do not believe anybody would like to hear anything about open
All right.
enrollment insurance
All right.
and
Well,
comparing
let's
plans.
talk about politics. There's an election coming up. Should we talk about that?
There is an election coming up.
I'm voting. I'm voting tomorrow, actually.
Are you today? It voted. Early voting.
Early voting.
Ended here today in
Oh,
Louisiana.
okay.
I am going on the normal election day because, number one, because turnout was, from every account I've read, phenomenal. So hopefully that'll make the line shorter
Yeah,
at the actual
okay.
polls. But I don't know how it works in Orlando. I guess I really should. But like my precinct is so small. It's like just such a small collection of streets that I don't think I'm going to run into much of a line when I go on Tuesday. But that's what I'm hoping, at least. I think I'm going to head out, like have an early lunch or something and go vote.
Yeah, I would do that. Except my son's school is a voting place. It's like
Y'all are
it's-
closed.
it's a church, so they're doing a field trip that day.
Oh, that's smart.
And so I wanted to go on the field trip because it's at a place I don't think you and I really talked about, but it's kind of podcast material. So the Crayola Experience, I think it's called its official name.
What is that? Where is that?
You don't know about this?
What?
Oh, I'm shocked. So at the Florida Mall, it
Yes.
used to be, what did that used to be? Was it the sporting goods place? Yeah, I think it was the sporting goods place.
Okay.
Or one of those. Anyway, it was one of the bigger stores there. It's now it's the Crayola Experience. So outside the thing, they've got the biggest Crayola store you could probably imagine.
Okay.
They have this wall that that's like every Crayola color crayon on this wall, just in a full like rainbow spectrum. It's a pretty cool thing. So you can take all the different colors and try them out. And they sell every Crayola kit and
Sure.
box and blah blah blah. But
Don't
inside-
tell me they show you how they make crayons.
I haven't been inside yet, so I don't know what they do in there. But they have it's like a little mini Crayola theme park, right? So
What?
yeah, I don't know what they have in there, but so anyway. That's where his school is going. Shh, don't tell him it's a surprise.
Okay. Go on.
That's where they're going on that day, and they asked for chaperone volunteers, whatever. So I'm gonna go do that.
That is awesome. That really is awesome. Seriously, I would love to do that.
Yeah, Florida Mall. See, you make fun of the Florida Mall. I keep telling you, it's it's having a
I
renaissance.
would
Yes,
never.
you do. Google.
We were one of the first people in the Apple store there.
That's right. It's like our Apple
I'll
store.
always love the Florida Mall. Megan
We got
was like the youngest
We
kid
got shirts
in
and
there.
everything.
We
You
do.
remember-
I still have
remember-
mine.
Remember our wives? They were like,
Oh,
"What
rolling their eyes the
are
whole
we
time.
doing
Oh,
here?"
oh my goodness! Of course.
If nobody's ever been, I don't know if they still do. When they open Apple stores, or used to, because they were much rarer back then, right?
Yeah,
they're,
true.
They're everywhere now, but gosh, this was 15 years ago. Well,
Shoo, yeah. Well, no. It
No?
was
10?
between 10 and 11 years ago.
Yeah, okay, well, close enough. So you'd wait out line, and they'd line up all the employees and open the doors, and they'd applaud as you walk through, like you're, some sort of royalty. And anyway, Florida Mall. Glenn and I were there to open that one, and we
Man,
drug
we
our
were
wives out
crazy.
there early in the day.
And my kid.
Oh, that's right. You're she was a little baby back then.
Yes, she was.
And so, I think the jerkiest part of it is you got in the store, they handed you your T-shirt on the way in,
Mm-hmm.
and all that applauding, new Apple store, and you walk in and you go, okay, now what? All right, now I'm in a store. And that's pretty much,
Right.
That's pretty much it.
And then
And
the
you're like,
first
okay.
purchase was a Mac Mini. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. Do you remember this?
Yeah, because it was a big deal because everybody had to applaud. Everybody was like, "Oh, we have our first purchase. It's a Mac Mini," and everybody applauded.
Right. What were you the guy? Did you? Were you
No, I wasn't the guy.
Oh, okay. So I sent you a link for the Crayola Experience. It looks pretty cool. They got a bunch
see
of different
that,
areas,
yeah.
like different playthings and Toddler Town, and what else they have? Crayon Factory. I'm sure they show you somewhere.
Well,
about how they make crayons.
so I'm looking
They
at the
must.
Crayon Factory. It says, "See how crayons are made" in a live
Yeah, there you
theater
go.
show.
Yeah.
starring our animated crayon friends, Scarlet, and Turk.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't been there. I from the outside, I don't know. I would assume this thing is not great, but I've heard from people it's actually pretty good. So, ooh, Melton Mold. That sounds fun.
Right?
So anyway, that's what we're gonna do on election day. So that's why I'm gonna vote early. I'm also gonna
There you
take. I'm gonna vote tomorrow. I'm gonna take Evan with me because he's 5 and he's so curious about what all this politics stuff is all about. 'Cause
Sure.
he sees the commercials and whatnot. So we're gonna go vote together. I'm gonna see if I can get 2 votes in. And
Oh my God.
sure.
What
no,
are
he's
you
18.
doing?
He's 18.
Oh.
I didn't say for whom. We'll leave that as a extra credit exercise. But yeah. Anyway, so how do we get on this tangent? What were we talking about?
So, our first topic for the night is the Hall of
that was it.
Presidents at Liberty Square in the Magic Kingdom.
Whoa! It's almost like I planned that segue.
That is so weird,
All right,
but
tell me
so
about
awesome.
it. I love the Hall of Presidents.
The Hall of Presidents. So I think we'll go through just a brief history of the Hall of Presidents, and then that's kind of what I want to hear is what's your opinion of it. I'll give mine. And then just because I'm curious to hear, I think I've already heard, but I think we'll get a little more in depth as we go along. So the history of the Hall of Presidents, it goes back to the 64-65 World's Fair, right? Mm-hmm. Walt Disney had a grand idea to have a Hall of Presidents at the World's Fair, but the technology certainly wasn't there yet to build so many, human audio animatronics. He had really only done the Tiki Birds to that point, and so he ended up building just Abraham Lincoln, and it was great moments with Mr. Lincoln at the fair, and then after the fair ended, that moved to Disneyland, where it still runs today. It's been closed every now and then throughout the years, but we saw it in February when we went to Disneyland. I want to make sure I saw it because I didn't see it 10 years ago when we went, because they had a special 50th anniversary movie in there in the theater. So we saw it this year. It's really cool. So when they were designing Walt Disney World, they said, hey, why don't we take the time and do the full Hall of Presidents like Walt wanted. And one bit of trivia that I didn't know until today was that because New Orleans is so close to Orlando, they didn't want to do another New Orleans Square. And so they were looking for other things to do with that land. And that's how they settled on Liberty Square. They dug up the old, because there was supposed to be a like a Liberty street off of Main Street in Disneyland that, way back in the original plans. Walt wanted that. And so they actually dug up those plans and they said, hey, why don't we do a Liberty Square and we'll put the Hall of Presidents there. Yeah, I know. I
didn't know that.
Me either.
Did they not really? I mean, New Orleans isn't really that close. Certainly not culturally, but okay, whatever. But it's neat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either.
Okay.
So they created the Hall of Presidents, and at first, the first shows up until 1993 were Abraham Lincoln was the only one that spoke. They gave a history of the United States and the presidency, and it was just Abraham Lincoln that spoke. And then in 93, they closed it when they had to put in Bill Clinton. And at that time, they actually rewrote it and had Bill Clinton record a speech. And so they had Bill Clinton, the sitting president, and Abraham Lincoln speak. And then they continued that when George W. Bush got in office. He spoke. And another bit of trivia is that the George W. Bush animatronic was just the Bill Clinton animatronic with a different head on it. And they created just a more stationary audio animatronic figure for the new Bill Clinton, so that they could just reuse the good audio animatronic that was already programmed to stand and speak and everything else.
Oh, okay. Huh. I did not know all that. To be honest.
I didn't either. So then, so after George W. Bush came Barack Obama, and when it was a little downtime between Clinton and Bush, but when Obama got in, they went down for over 6 months, almost about eight months or so. They went down, and they put in the new Obama audio animatronic. He recorded a speech as well. Abraham Lincoln gives his speech, but it was rewritten from what it had been slightly, and then George Washington speaks now, and so Morgan Freeman now gives the he's the narrator throughout the whole show, and it's I don't know when the last time you've seen the Hall of Presidents.
I'm sitting here trying to think of when that is. I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen it with Obama in it.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, maybe twice with Obama, because I had moved back to New Orleans in 2007 before he was elected. So I've only gotten to see it when I've gone back on trips. And
Yeah, but don't make it sound like you've never been to the Magic Kingdom since then.
no, but that's the thing. I don't. This is an attraction I don't go on every time, and I feel bad because I really enjoy it. The first time I saw it was when I came. I was at went to a conference in 2013 in Cocoa Beach, and I drove into Disney World, but I was by myself, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to do every attraction that my family hates." So I did the Hall of Presidents, Captain EO, and all the obscure attractions that I never go on. Those are the ones I went on, and so that was the first time I saw this version of the Hall of Presidents, and I think it's a really good presentation.
But it is a little like you've gone to a museum to learn about history, right? I mean,
it is not right. It's not the Haunted Mansion. It's not the it's not the Big Thunder Mountain, right? It's something you definitely have to.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't go see it more. I mean, I get your family doesn't like it, but given its history and its origins with the Mr. Lincoln attraction, I mean, it really goes back to the very genesis of the animatronic stuff, right? So,
right. So that's actually once I saw it in 2013 and realized how good it was. The next time we went back as a family, I made sure to take the whole family in to the Hall of Presidents so we all could see it, and they were kicking and screaming going in, but they actually did enjoy it while they were in there. Yeah. And then so I think those are the only two times I've really seen it. But I think it's a great presentation. I've seen it throughout the years. Every one is great. What's really cool is when I was there on the college program in 1991, just as the Gulf War had started. And when you went to see it then, at the end, everybody would really applaud and give a standing ovation. So it kind of depends on the mood of the country, as how it's accepted and how it's when we're in a time of if there's a national disaster or something, and we're pulling together as a people. It's just really cool, the energy in there. It's really fun to be in there. But when it's just a bland, normal, everyday time, it's like meh. Most people are like eh. But I really enjoy the Hall of Presidents. As a kid, we went in there. My sister hated it. She hated it. She always took a nap in there. But
well, it's great for that though, right? Especially, I mean, if you want a long
place.
sit, because it's like 20 minutes or something.
Something like that. Sure.
Yeah. That's great.
So, but my mom and dad enjoyed it, so they took us in it every now and then. Not every trip, but they took us in it enough. So, I do have an appreciation for the Hall of Presidents. I do like it a lot. So I'm gonna be quiet and get your opinion.
Well, before you do, what do you like about it?
Well,
why do you like it?
I love American history, right? And so for me it gives me. I've never been to Washington D.C., right? I've never been.
Really? Wait,
No,
is that true?
that's absolutely true, and that's a
Shocking.
trip.
Knowing you, that is shocking.
Thank you. So this is something I can go to, and as stupid.
It's not really like that, you know.
I was gonna say, as stupid as it sounds, it's the most tangible thing I can get to help history come alive for me. If that, I know that sounds silly and geeky, and not even geeky, just silly. But at least it's something. Now, just as a side note, I do want to take my kids. I'm waiting until my kids get just a tad bit older, till my son gets maybe 10 or 11, and
Yes, they get some appreciation.
my daughter's maybe 14 or 15 in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe if they're going through when they have American history or something, that's when I would like to take a trip to Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Because I think the kids would then, it would help them in school, but also give them some appreciation for American history.
Sure. Yeah, and it's not. I mean, especially from where you live, that's not a bad trip. It's not too expensive to do that kind of trip. DC's great. I mean, especially all I need to do is go to the Air and Space Museum, and I'm fine. But
Well, yeah.
yeah, cool. I didn't know that about you. Shocking,
Yeah,
shocking revelation.
look at that.
I know.
Crazy night.
So, yes, it certainly is. So yeah, Hall of Presidents. It's funny. It's like I'll read about Hall of Presidents. I'll see something. I'm like, yeah, gosh, I've been in there a long time. I should go there. And then I'll be standing in front of it and I go, that's a mess, And I feel a little guilty, a little terrible. I love Liberty Square though. I love that area.
Yeah.
Partly just because I'm an old guy. I remember the bicentennial in '76 and what a huge deal that was. Mm-hmm. And I used to go spend my summers with my grandparents in central New Jersey, which culturally identifies more with Philadelphia than New York, just given like its TV stations and stuff are from Philly. So it felt like really just a very sort of very far suburb of Philly. So during the bicentennial, my grandparents took me on a couple of trips to Philadelphia to see Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, Betsy Ross's house, and et cetera, et cetera. So, during that time, I fell in love with the whole colonial era. So, I love that whole vibe. That's part of that, but I just never go into the attraction. So, I guess I should do my civic duty and go in there one day soon.
Yes, you should. Well, and quite honestly, it's going to be closing soon to install the new president.
Oh,
we're you really should. Quite honestly, you really should go see it before it closes.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I don't know how much they're going to change it, or if they're just going to plop in whoever, or if they're going to take the time again. Because it's been 8 years, right?
Yeah.
If they're going to take the time again and change it a little bit, so you really ought to go see it while
that's a good point.
It's in its own. It's in this state.
Yeah, I'm looking at a. Who is this? Allears.net. It's right up here. It says. Very small children may be too young to appreciate the history of this attraction and may find it boring.
Well, that's true, but you know what? This is an exhibit that I hope never goes away because
and that's the thing is like it's such a icon of the park that I mean whether people go in it or not, they know it exists, right? Because their father drugged them to it at least one time.
Right.
And so they can't really get rid of, I mean, I guess obviously they can do anything they want, but they kind of have to keep it. Do you know, like how much cooperation do they need or do they get from presidents to do this? They're not like doing a plaster mold of their face or anything to do this, are they?
No. So there is, I need to, so I'll find it. I will put it in the show notes. But when they went to do Obama's, they actually documented it. And, but he does sit there and they take like a gazillion photos from every angle of his face. And while he's recording it, they video it to try to, because they try to mimic the hand motions and everything else that he's doing while he's reading it. So, but yeah, they try to get it as lifelike as possible. So I'll find. I know I've seen that before, and I'll find it and put it in the show notes.
Huh. Okay. They should combine that with the. You remember Obama had the. He was the first president to have the. What was it 3D mapping of his head, right? Because they always talk about the presidential portraits
Oh,
and the
right,
history
right.
of those. But he was the first president to get an actual 3D laser scan, whatever, so they can totally reproduce his entire head.
Yeah.
They should just combine these two things.
Maybe they have.
Cool. Yeah, I should see it. I always wondered, I don't know why, but I always wonder, like, how many presidents can they fit in there? Like, eventually they're going to have to, like, kick
Well,
out,
that's
like Warren G. Harding or something, or like
They're gonna have to
what
get
are they
bleachers. You know.
just have like their legs represented back there. So I don't know. That's interesting. All right, I'll go check it out. Made me feel like a guilty American.
You really
But
should.
the good news is, even if I don't enjoy that, it looks like there's a new attraction outside of that.
There
that
is.
That is probably more my speed.
Well, and go ahead, because this is something
No,
I really want to see in person.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm teeing it up. Go ahead.
So
take it away.
So October 1st or so, they started the Muppets Present, great moments in American history.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only seen the video, but it looks really cute. I think it's a great addition to Liberty Square. It brings some life to it. Because Liberty Square is to me at least, it's one of these lands that's kind of underrated.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Even though it has the one of the biggest attractions in the whole park in the Haunted Mansion, it's just.
That's so weird. I don't even think of that as part
I know
of
you
Liberty
don't,
Square.
right?
No, I don't.
And it's such a nice transition. One of my favorite places in the whole Magic Kingdom, and this is getting way off topic, but one of my favorite places in the whole Magic Kingdom is that transition from Liberty Square to Fantasyland. And, as you pass under the Columbia Harbor House restaurant above, I've just, ever since I was a kid, I've just always liked that transition. It was a very smooth transition. And
especially like in the evening. There's something about the evening in that square with the Liberty Tree and the steamboat, and there's just something about that crossroads right there. It's always very active. Sometimes gets a little too crowded for my taste.
True.
But you know me, I don't like crowds at all. So. But yeah, I love that. I love that part. And you, Columbia Harbor House, man. That's I never once ate there until I think we went there, and it's like one of our favorite places now.
Yeah,
it's also gotten more popular, it seems.
Yeah, it has. It has a lot of seating, so and I like the food. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, back to the Muppets.
Yeah, so the Muppets. So I think it brings some, instead of just because it seems like Liberty Square is a lot of a pass through land more than anything, because they only have the Haunted Mansion and Hall of Presidents. Those are really the only two attractions they have. I guess you could count the Liberty Square Riverboat. Is that what it's called now? The Liberty Square Riverboat, or is it?
Don't know.
Anyway, so 3 attractions, and they have some shops, but usually you're passing through it to go to the Haunted Mansion or Frontierland or Fantasyland, and so I think having the Muppets out there. With the show, it number one, it's new entertainment for the Magic Kingdom, which is really cool. But two, it's kind of getting back to the you can entertain and educate at the same time, which is I love that. Yeah. And it just from the video watching it looks like it's enough to keep people keep their attention and keep them watching, because they're some really cute jokes in there, and it's the Muppets, for goodness sake.
Yeah. So what is it? They're not animatronic? Are they?
No, they're not.
Like
they
puppets.
They have
basically
puppets.
a puppet show.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're the Muppets, right?
Okay. Oh yeah, I guess that's what Muppet is. Which is kind of cool. I mean, at first I thought they were like animatronic, so for some silly reason I liked it more. I think what I liked was the idea of sort of a micro attraction. Not everything needs to be a Big Thunder Mountain. Maybe they could do a lot more sort of kind of like the same way I like the talking trash can. I don't even know if that's still around. I haven't seen that forever. But you know what I mean? These like little gems of things that they kind of stick in places, and I appreciate those as much, sometimes even more than some of the big attractions that you got to wait in line for 90 minutes for. Right. Sometimes it's fun to just kind of hit upon them, and
They're like little pluses.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
just
There you
there to be there. And that's what makes Disney Disney, right? It's the little things that add up that say, hey, you know what? That was a really cool experience. Like, they didn't have to do that, but they did it anyway.
Right.
And so I think it's a great addition. I can't wait to see it. I really can in person.
Well, I hope we're probably going to go out there soon because one of the other things that I like about that area is the Christmas shop, and I think we're due to go get a new Christmas ornament this year. 'Cause
Nice.
We try to add one a year. So
Yeah, that's a great tradition.
I have to go check it out. Cool.
Awesome.
And it's open now, right?
It is open now. Yeah.
Is it every day?
I don't know.
Is it
Yeah, it's every day. I don't know what the schedule is, and I also don't know if because the video I watched just had it kind of alludes to that they're going to cover multiple great moments in America. The one I saw was for the Declaration of Independence,
Okay.
but it sounds like it could be they could introduce different topics as well, different subjects.
Okay. As long as they don't just read like Twitter feeds of current events, then it should be fine.
Let's hope that it never comes. It never comes to that.
Great moments in American history. Twitter words. Anyway, all right, awesome. I can't wait to check it out too. Looks
Yeah.
good.
So, Chris, do you have a charity pick for us?
Kind of yes and kind of no. I'll call it a meta pick
Okay.
for you this time. We're going to do something a little bit different. So rather than pick a specific charity, I thought I'd talk about how one could find a charity if you don't like any of the ones I've picked or ones you've seen. Because there is a world full of different organizations that are doing different things, lots of good in different areas. But how do you find them? How do you know they're legit? Are they worth giving to? Where's all that money going? So a couple of tips for a couple of websites. There is one called GuideStar, which is guidestar.org. You can go in here and you can search for different kinds of charities, look at a specific name, and they will give you lots of updated information on the charity, how they're spending their money, et cetera, et cetera. Also along the same lines, it looks like the Better Business Bureau actually has part of their organization they run to do very similarly. I find their website a little nicer, easier to use. I can't really comment on data validity. I don't know which one might be better than the other. But that one's even easier to remember where to find it. It's give.org. And you can look up specific charities, or you can even kind of scroll through and see, just kind of get lists. And you say, you know what, I want to find an organization that's about nature conservation or energy savings, and who might I look at for that? And they give you a rundown, kind of like they do for businesses. What they've got kind of a report card for them. They've got some standard criteria that they judge them against, and so those are good tools. Go look at them, and if you're looking for something to either give money to or give your time to, then those you can look through those portals and maybe find something you like.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. So, since we were talking about the Muppets, I think we'll continue on.
All right, so it's the Muppet episode.
It almost is. So there's a new restaurant that's opening, I think November 18th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Pizza Rizzo, across
Pizza
from
Rizzo.
the Muppet Vision 3D. So this is taking the spot of the Pizza Planet that was there, and I don't think I ever ate pizza from there, and I think it was for good reason.
Well, you're very lucky you didn't.
Okay, good, because
Did you? Well, Did you? Well, you didn't go to public school. I don't know how. I hope I'm not giving anything away. If you ever had cafeteria pizza, like at a hospital, a school, a prison, that's pretty much the pizza they served there.
is it?
Or go to your general grocery store and find the cheapest frozen pizza you can find, and that's pretty much what it was. Oh, it's terrible. One time we grabbed a quick pizza there because we were starving, and that's where we were, and it was we'd been better off to stay starving. But anyway, but I like the theming of Pizza Planet. So and I got to admit I didn't see a whole lot of detail about this. So I thought at first this was replacing Mama Melrose. That's not the case though? Mama Melrose is still Mama Melrose.
I believe so. I haven't heard anything about Mama Melrose.
Okay, so this is Pizza Planet primarily. So what's different about this? What is this? Just a new name, a facelift? What are they doing?
So they closed down Pizza Planet entirely, and they are making it a brand new restaurant essentially. I haven't. I've only seen pictures of the exterior, and it looks really cool. It looks like a New York pizzeria. I mean, okay. Now I'm gonna say
Oh, boy,
I've only
here we
been to New York once, but from from what I've read,
But you went to the original Anthony's, right?
to Lombardi's, yes.
Oh, sorry, Lombardi's.
Lombardi's, yes.
Okay, sure.
Sure. What do you
One
mean,
of
sure?
17 original ones. Anyway, so okay, so is this like this isn't like a sit down thing? It's just like a counter service.
It's not.
place, or what?
It's a counter service place, yeah.
Okay, all right, but you got to figure if they're going to focus on pizza, hopefully it's. Although the other one was Pizza Planet, so I don't know. Hopefully they have better pizza, maybe.
Well, I really hope so. I think they're going to have more. Yeah, better pizza. From what I understand, it's going to be. I don't want to say gourmet pizza, but it's going to be
okay.
more
what you
authentic. Try to be more New York pizza, right?
I see. Okay. Well, what was? Do you know what the motivation with this was? Because the theming was neat. I mean, the Toy Story thing, and Pizza Planet. But what was the? Do you know what the need was here that they're trying to fix?
Well, I think the need was nobody liked Pizza Planet.
Okay.
I think
Right.
that the reputation had preceded itself, and it just wasn't. It also wasn't thematically appropriate anymore because it was kind of like the only Toy Story reference thing there.
Oh, yeah, I guess I never thought about that.
Yeah, and so I think they're trying to, with all of the changes they're making.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know,
I see.
they're making this like a little mini Muppets
Okay.
land.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, I don't. I mean, we'll know a lot more in a couple weeks when it opens, because our friends out there in the Disney fan land will descend upon it opening day and taste everything and video and take pictures and everything else. So we'll find out soon enough.
And I'll see it when I go out to see the Osborne Lights, since it's right there. Oh,
Well, right, it is. It's right.
Oh, too soon.
Darn, sorry, it's.
All right, well, I'll check it out. I'll have an excuse to eat pizza. So, so this is not Melrose. See, I wanted to talk about Melrose, because I
Well, go
was
ahead.
wondering. I was just wondering, have you ever eaten there?
I have not.
You
I have-
really all the time?
I've never eaten in my. It's so weird and random the stuff that I have and haven't done.
It really is.
But yeah, I've never done Mama Melrose.
So strange. Okay. On purpose, or just like it never came up as a thought? Or?
It never came up as an option anywhere on any of my lists.
Huh. So I've eaten there one time. I got a friend of mine. Hi, Sean. For a short period of his life, when his kids were sort of in that peak Disney age, he came down to Disney twice a year. And for whatever reason, they really latched onto that restaurant. My words, not theirs. They seemed to really like it. So one night we met them out there. And, I've mentioned before, I've got family background in New Jersey, and so I've had some good Italian food in my life. And it was not at that place, let me tell you. So I was just wondering, like, so right now I only have two scores. I have my friend's score that they really liked it, and ours that we really didn't. So I'm just wondering, generally, is it seen as a good restaurant, or is it? I don't know anybody that ever really talks about it. So
Yeah, I don't think so.
okay. Unlike say Sci-Fi Dine-In, where we've gone a lot, and sometimes I actually have some pretty good meals there, different kinds.
Yeah.
It's still parkish food, but
that's kind of fallen down on our list. We
What,
ate there.
Sci-Fi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we ate there in 2013, and then we ate again like the following year.
Okay.
And the kids are even like, the food wasn't that good, and
But,
for
you know,
them to
they-
even say anything, it was like, well, because I didn't
Really?
think it was that good.
We know
You
it's
go
it's-
more for the ambiance, right?
Well, of course, and I don't mean to say that it's great food, but I'm just saying for park food, it's we enjoy that food, or at least they have more interesting options sometimes. Now, that is an interesting place, Sci-Fi, in that they've gone through a lot of different iterations of what they think that restaurant is, and I'm not sure how it is today. It's been a while since I've been there, but for a while, like the lunch menu was like what you'd expect for lunch at a Sci-Fi place. It was like hamburger, French fries, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
and then at like 4 o'clock it would switch to the dinner menu.
Oh, okay.
And they were for some period of time they were selling the most elaborate, like French food, like like.
Oh,
I
really?
can't even think of an actual dish, but something like you go, this doesn't fit in with. I'm at the sci-fi dine-in. I'm
Yeah.
having, some sort of Alfredo something with blah 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 for $37. Yeah, and I don't know if there's still I have to look up a menu, but for a period there they were really doing. I'm trying to think of what I could compare it to, but almost like some of the food you'd expect to get at World Showcase. Things that
Really?
were So it was like a really strange mix. So hopefully they came off of that. But anyway, sorry to digress. But Mama Melrose, I never really enjoyed that one. So okay, well, I guess I'll ask more people, see what I find out. But Sean, sorry I didn't like it, but the company was great. Actually, we
Yeah.
should have him on the. We need to have Sean on the show because
We absolutely need to.
Is this
have
even
the
a show? I think it's a show. We got like music and everything, so we should have him on.
Is that the key?
because from my perspective, he and his family went through a really interesting arc where, and I met him when I lived up in New Jersey, and my wife and I would come down here twice a year to visit, and he and his family never came down. He's got a fairly large family, but then something clicked. I don't know what changed their thing. This is what we should ask him. And then for like a very short window of maybe 5 years or so, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were the ones. They were coming down here twice a year, and they were renting a house and making like 2 weeks visits, and like just became these huge Disney fans. And then almost overnight, it got turned off, and I haven't seen him back here since. So I'm hoping it wasn't me, but it's really interesting it'd be interesting to talk to him to see from his perspective what that arc was. What started it, what ended it.
Yeah.
I'd be curious.
Yes.
So we'll see. I know we have a lengthy list of special guests lined up. But,
We do.
Maybe we can fit him in somewhere.
Well, I think we'll try to. We need to do that.
Let's do it.
Okay. The next thing that I'd like to bring up is that I saw on WW Magic is that they have construction going on at the Magic Kingdom. It looks like they are at the entrance to the Magic Kingdom. They are building new security areas that are going to be dedicated to the type of transportation that you take. So, meaning if you take the ferry over, you'll be funneled into one bank of security booths. If you take the monorail, you'll be funneled into a separate bank.
That's interesting.
And then the resort transportation boats, they'll have their own as well. So they're hoping that helps with the security, because in this article they show a picture.
I was going to say you've got this in the rundown, but no pictures, no links. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
on.
I put a link on Slack.
Okay.
So,
all right. I'll go there.
but they indicate that during peak times you can wait 45 minutes to get past
Whoa.
security.
I've never had to wait like that.
I haven't either. Well, I haven't at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, you mentioned Disneyland.
I did at Disneyland, and they can take that area and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. But they're also
Such an old man.
They're also. I'm trying to be nice. They're also redoing their. They're actually building a whole new parking structure at Disneyland, and they're going to have their own a new security checkpoint there as well, which should help things hopefully.
Yeah, it's a tough problem, right? Because they want to make sure they've got security, but at the same time, my God, if it feels like you're going through TSA at the airport, then they've lost, right? So,
Yeah.
wow, but that's a bigger construction project than I thought. I'm looking at the picture you posted here.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't like that in August when we passed by.
no,
So it's a fairly recent construction.
yeah. I get picked every time I go through. I get picked for the metal detector every.
I
single
did
time.
at Disneyland. I did too.
I don't understand. Like I mean, I got like a pretty honest face. Like, why are they picking on me?
Yeah,
So,
I think it's as random as it can get it.
no, it's not random at all.
Sure, it is.
No, I see it. Like I can see them out of the corner of my eye. They get a glimpse of me, and they like. It's like I'm the rabbit and they're the hawk, and they're coming down and.
Well, maybe,
I don't know.
maybe if they're bored and they don't want to do too much work, maybe they're looking for the honest guy so they don't have to do too much.
But I know you're joking, but what I actually think it might be is it's deceiving. But I look like a guy that wouldn't have a problem with it. Like I'm not going to give him a lot of hassle. Like
Right.
I look like I'm an easygoing guy. So I think they probably think, yeah, we'll do this guy. He won't complain. So I'm just going to kick up my angry face next time, and maybe they're letting the people through that shouldn't. I don't know. All right, well, hopefully they can do something there because we want to be
Yeah.
safe and sound at our favorite park, but it shouldn't be a drag.
And I have to say, not to bring up Universal again because we have a whole episode. Oh wait, we don't. But there, everybody goes through the metal detectors, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's such a, I don't know that that's bad because then you take randomness and looking for people. Everybody just goes through it. Like
I feel like we talked about this before, but it was in the
We
the,
did.
the one that was never
So-
finished, right?
yeah, I just don't know what's better if you just make everybody go through it. I mean, I know it takes a little longer, but
You know what it is for me? It's that jump to metal detectors. If it's just bag check, it doesn't feel so bad.
but they have
When
them
they're doing
now.
metal detector. I know, and I hate it. It feels like
Well,
and
but it's
where-
not going away, Chris. You know that.
But then blend, and maybe that's what they're doing here. Then so I have a couple suggestions if anybody cares. Number one, blend it in a little better. So they literally have taken a airport style metal detector and put a plant in front of it as disguised to say this isn't really like. Have you noticed that? Like it's literally like it's like between two ferns. Like the show? That's
Right.
exactly what it is. Oh, okay. It's a nice friendly metal detector. Now, find. There's got to be a way to Disneyfy them, make them like make them, I don't know, magic Tron portals or something.
Yeah.
But so number one, do something so they don't feel so like I'm being processed to be put into the big house.
Right.
And two, move them further away from where they are today. Right. It just feels too much like it's part of the park there. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's part of the point of what they're doing here to push these back towards more towards a transportation area.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because it looks like it's closer to the lagoon.
Right. Yeah. Make it feel like part of the transportation and not part of the park.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my two suggestions. That's my pick of the week. Metal, metal detectors and ferns.
So that's one thing that's happening. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is so we had heard rumors that, and we actually did cover this in one of our earlier episodes, but we had heard rumors that the Guardians of the Galaxy were going to take over the Universe of Energy, and that they were going to tear it down and build some kind of roller coaster or
Yep.
whatever. But it was going to go into Epcot, and that's it. So there is, once again, on wdwmagic.com, there's a poster who seems to be fairly knowledgeable and fairly trustworthy that indicates that has been scrapped, which, before I go any further, I'm going to applaud them because I think keeping any Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel, and everything else out of Epcot should be applauded.
Yep.
But instead of doing that, it doesn't mean Guardians of the Galaxy is going away. What it means is that what they're doing to the Tower of Terror in Disney's California Adventure, they're going to do to the Tower of Terror in Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is a Guardians of the Galaxy overlay to the Tower of Terror.
Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, I saw this in your notes. So because I don't pay any attention to anything in Southern California, sorry guys. What did they do? What did they do there?
So they are transforming the Tower of Terror. It's the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror technically doesn't close until January, but they've already started to change it because they're trying to get it open for the release of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in May.
Right.
So they're already starting to work on it. But what it is they're taking out all of the Twilight Zone references and the whole storyline and putting in a new Guardians of the Galaxy storyline. Still the same ride. They're not touching anything on that. It's just the visuals and the story.
Okay, so
As well as
all the
the
backstory
outside,
stuff.
the outside of the attraction, they're going to put all kind of pipes and stuff to make it look more industrial and
So
not
is
like
it
a
still?
hotel.
So is it still supposed to be? Oh, that was going to be my question. So is it still supposed to be a hotel, or is it like even some
No.
freight elevator or something? But Glenn, look at the outside. I mean, you can't really make that something. I mean, it's an old style hotel, right?
Sure.
So what are your feel? I could guess, but what are your feelings about this?
Okay. My feelings are, I think for them to do it in California Adventure is fine. To do it at Hollywood Studios, I think it's wrong. And here's
Explain yourself, young man.
right, because okay, number one, it's the original Tower of Terror. Right, it's the first one ever built. So it has a history. It opened in '94, so it's been open for 22 years now. And it fits into, I mean, it's Disney's Hollywood Studios or Hollywood, what is it? Studios? Yeah, Studios.
Something.
So it's still Hollywood, right? It's still, if you turn down Sunset Boulevard, and at the end of it, right now, you see the Hollywood Tower of Terror. If you turn down there and the rest is Sunset Boulevard from the whatever 30s or 40s, and then at the end, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy industrial complex ride, it just doesn't fit the theme or anything. In California Adventure, that's such a mishmash anyway. I mean, it's kind of all on its own anyway. It's not really, it doesn't fit into anything because of where it's located. So okay, that's fine. You want to put it there, that's fine. But Disney World, I don't think, I think it should still stay the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Okay. You've swayed me. Originally, I didn't. I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of bad they're losing the Twilight Zone, history with it. But now I think you've talked me out of it. I think it is a bad idea. I guess. Well, it kind of depends. So, would it be? Would the theming be like we're in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, or are we outside of it? We've broken the fourth wall, fourth wall. What is that phrase? And we're watching a movie about Guardians of the Galaxy get made, or what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what is the? Are we in it, or are we, observing the making of? And I guess
You
that would
will-
be kind of my difference.
You'll be in it.
Well, see, then you're right. Then that's not right because
Right.
the whole thing, and that is some heavy theming all the way from, all the way from the main road to
Right.
to that part. So, yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, but they got to make. They've got to leverage these.
Okay,
these
so
characters and things, right?
so all that being said,
Yeah.
I don't think it belongs there either in Disney World. But if I have to make the choice of them putting something where the Universe of Energy is versus redoing the Tower of Terror, I'll take Tower of Terror in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, if I have to take the medicine, I'm going to take that and not ruin Epcot any more than it already is.
See previous show.
Shows.
Shows, yes, plural. All right. Well, I guess we'll. So far, there's no point getting upset about news that hasn't even been announced, right? So
Right.
we have an unofficial cancellation of an unofficial project. So
That's right.
okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. So, pick of the week. I'm going to
Yeah.
let you go first this week.
Oh, I get to go first. All right. So I'm going to warn people. This is a little bit on the expensive side, especially for what it is. But Glenn, I don't know if you know about this about me, but I got kind of a bag problem. I like bags. I like bags of all different sizes, like camera bags, laptop bags. I think it's a fairly common stereotype that the ladies they have a thing for purses and for shoes. I don't understand the shoe thing, but I totally get the purse thing and the bag thing. So, I feel like I've spent a good portion of my adult life on the ultimate search for the ultimate bag, and I haven't found it yet. But I tell you, I have gone the longest I have ever gone with one laptop bag in my adult life. I've had the same one now for 2 years, I think. And I really, really, really like it because it's a nice combination of sort of modern and classic at the same time. And it's made in the United States, if that's important to you. If you look at sfbags.com, I'm not sure why they have different URL than their actual name, which is Waterfield, is the name of the company that makes them. The one specifically I have is if we look at the laptop bags, it is I think it's called the Bolt. Yes, the Bolt briefcase. I love this. It comes in 3 different sizes. It's made of some great nylon, but it has some actual leather on it as well, so the handles get kind of worn over time. They get that kind of patina to it. So it has kind of a classic rugged look to it, yet it's modern on the inside. So if you carry a lot of technology and laptops and tablets and stuff, it has all the right kind of things you'd expect there. I love this bag. I use it every single day, and it's the only bag that's kept my attention this long and seems to solve all my problems. I love this thing. So that is my pick this week. It's a little expensive at $250 for the smaller size, but if you're into nice bags, it's not that bad. I mean, some bags go up to astronomical prices. So sfbags.com, look at the Bolt briefcase or any of their other stuff. They got some great videos on how they're used and made, and check them out.
Very cool. I do like bags.
Who doesn't?
I know.
Who doesn't?
So my pick of the week is Peak Design. They make straps for cameras, and I know, okay, that's pretty boring, right? Strap for a camera.
Sounds pretty boring.
It does. But I actually got in when this was a Kickstarter project, and so they have a camera strap called the Slide, and it goes around your, I don't know how to describe this, but
where are you going with this?
It doesn't go just around your shoulder. It goes around your neck, and it hangs like crosswise across your body.
Yep.
But what's really cool is it kind of says it in the name. It slides. So when you're not using it, it goes behind your back, and it's secure. But when you need to take a picture, it slides because the material is it's almost like a seatbelt material. And so it slides really easy, and your camera, you just bring it up to your eye, and you don't have to do anything, and then you just can kind of let it drop, and it goes back behind you. You can walk around, and you don't have something really hitting at your side because it pretty much stays at your back. It's really cool. They also make one for mirrorless cameras. It's called Slide Light. So it's a little bit smaller. It's not as heavy as a Slide. So if you are into the newfangled mirrorless cameras, that's good. But I actually do have a mirrorless camera, and it is the Sony A6000. And Peak Design makes this other product that I bought in conjunction with the Slide. It's called the Clutch. And it's just a hand strap that goes on your camera. And I have used that the last 2 trips to Disney World, as well as my trip to Disneyland. I have carried that thing around, my camera on my hand with the clutch, with no strap going across my body. And it being a mirrorless camera being lighter and with lighter lenses, it's been ideal, and it's always there for me. It's always on my hand, so I can take pictures quickly. It's really awesome. And what makes the system really cool is that they have these little clips that you put on your camera, and you can go from having the clutch on your camera, the hand strap, to going to the Slide in a matter of a minute, because all you do is you pop off the strap, and then you pop on the new one, and you don't have to screw anything in or anything, because the little straps are there, and they're interchangeable with these with the straps.
Well, actually, I'm gonna correct you slightly with that.
Okay.
You don't even have to take one off and put the other on, because you turned me on to this system, gosh, a few years ago, I guess it was, when we were shooting a race together. Mm-hmm. And so that's my basic setup, is I have them both on all the time.
Okay.
Because the way the little mount works on the bottom, you can actually have multiple of those little clip ends so you can have the clutch hand strap as well as the slide body strap on at the same time. So and that's typically how I roll, where I kind of switch back and forth. So I don't know how you do that thing where all you're using is the clutch and hold it, for hours and hours and hours a day. I don't know how you do that. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, anyway, so Mario Kart, you can actually do both at the same time.
Cool. I never thought about doing that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
great.
so it's worthwhile. The clutch is $40. The slide is, depending on which one you get, for the full size DSLR, it's $60. For the mirrorless cameras, it's $50. So they're not dirt cheap, but they're well worth it.
They absolutely are. And I bought mine, gosh, I guess at least 2 years ago, maybe longer. So about these, I wasn't in on the Kickstarter bit, but I got them when they went mainstream. And I spent the original price, but they're still, they will never wear out, these things. I mean, it seems like they're just going to last forever. So yeah, great pick. These are awesome. Great suggestion.
Okay, I think that's it for this week.
Sweet.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Terrific Recordings of Nothing. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray, and Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Tron_FM, and on Facebook at Terrific Recordings of Nothing. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at Tron.fm.
So do you really think every guy has a bag thing? I know a lot of guys, I don't think they have anything. They don't like bags. They're not into bags. They'll just go to Best Buy and buy the $10 whatever.
Yeah, it could be a guy thing. I mean, a nerd guy thing.
Nerd guy thing.
Because I don't know. I love bags.
Well, partly it's the quest too, right? It's trying to find the perfect bag, and there isn't one because it would have to be the bag of holding or something.
Right.
Oh, you didn't play D&D, did you?
No, but I
the bag of
understand the
holding
reference.
is. Oh, you got it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead for our listeners who aren't nerds.
No, I'm sure everybody out there plays D&D.
Yeah.
Look it up. Bag of holding. Thing I didn't know. I guess it does. Like the bag of holding. Because my issue is the weight. But the bag, it's like my bag is made of lead because it's a small bag. But like my wife can't even pick it up. And it's fun to see my boy try to drag it across the room. It's so I don't know. It's the weight that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get my new Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. My new disappointing Mac.
That'll definitely be a topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Where are we starting? What are we talking about?